All right, I just got the thumbs up, and I can hear myself. The fun of being live, broadcasting live, seeing all of you live. So, before I get into the session too far, I'd like to call to order the January 9th, 2023 session of the City of Elgin Planning and Zoning Commission. We look to staff to please call the roll.
Commissioner Jones?
Here.
Commissioner Valdez?
Here.
Commissioner Wildermuth?
Here.
And Chairman Cox?
Present.
We do have quorum.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the meeting minutes from December 5th, 2022. Do we have any comments and corrections? If not, the chair will entertain a motion for the approval of those minutes.
Move to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second?
A second.
Thank you. Again, staff, please call the roll.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Wildermuth?
Yes.
Commissioner Valdez?
Yes.
And Chairman Cox?
Yes.
The minutes are approved 4-0.
All right, thank you. Item D on the agenda is the chairman's opening statement. So it's my opportunity to welcome everyone here tonight. It's the first meeting of 2023, so that's exciting. I was looking back in my notes back to where we were a year ago, and I think we were still kind of on a skeleton crew, and things were kind of locked down with people calling in remotely on Zoom for petitions, for comments, so it was a little different animal. So tonight, to have a little bit of a lag on getting the sound up is a relatively simple challenge to overcome. And I say this at every meeting, but I do want everyone to know I mean this very genuinely and very sincerely. I want to welcome my fellow commissioners, city staff, our court reporter, the AV crew is always in the back working behind the scenes, all of you here tonight, as well as those of you who may be watching remotely now or in the future. We're starting off this year with one item on the agenda, and we'll hear more about that when it comes up. Since we seem to have a lot of new faces here tonight, we'll just briefly go through the process for tonight and the role of this commission. We typically open up the petitions with a preview from city staff. They'll review the city staff packet, and once they're done, we as a commission will ask questions of city staff. Following that, we invite the petitioner teams to come on up to the lectern and tell us your thoughts. If you have any thoughts, then now's the time for us to hear them. If we have any petitioner with us tonight, Demir?
Yes, we do.
We do, okay. So that would be the time for you to come on up. And then we as a commission will ask those, the petitioner team questions. Then we open each of these petitions up to public comment. So if you're out here tonight, you want to make public comment on the petitions, that's your opportunity. Following that, we close the public hearing portion of each of these petitions. So if you have something to say, questions to ask, tonight is the night for that. Following that, we look back to city staff for any closing comments they may have, and we as a commission deliberate and take a vote. We pass our recommendation on to city council, where these petitions are typically heard twice. There's details that they get into that are outside of our purview, but that's where the petitions will receive the final determination. So, like I said, if you've got anything you want to say, questions you want to ask, tonight's the night. So we'll move forward with the agenda now. Those of you wishing to speak tonight should please stand and face the court reporter. I believe, would that also include anyone wanting public comment, Demir?
Yes, please.
All right, so even if you're here for public comment, please also stand and take the oath. The court reporter is right down here in the front.
You all raise your hands, please. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
All right, thank you for that. We can move on to the petitions to be considered now, and we're here for 51-22 for 880 to 900 Summit Street.
Okay, thank you, Chairman Cox, and good evening to everyone. So the first petition before you is the application by Joe Butera as applicant and Bella Casa Square LLC as the property owner, requesting an amendment to the PAB Planned Area Business District Ordinance number G30-21. to modify the location of recreational amenities within the Bella Casa Square development, a 5-building mixed-use development with 151 apartments and 13,000 square feet of commercial space, all at the property commonly known as 880 to 900 Summit Street. So here's the site area map with zoning overlaid on top of it. The subject property in question is outlined in yellow. This is a 7-acre site that's on the north side of Summit Street, just west of Waverly Drive. As you can see, the property is partially vacant, partially improved by a parking lot that was constructed approximately 1998 and was built to serve a Dominick's store on the site that was never constructed. As you can see, the property is overlaid in red color, which means it is zoned commercial, PAB, Planned Area Business District. And then the properties to the east and west are also, and then even to the south, are the same color red, so they're all zoned commercial. To the west is the O'Reilly Auto Parts store adjacent and along Summit Street. And then further to the west are other outlots, commercial outlots, and then the Fresh Market grocery store. Let's see if I can point to some of these things. Okay. Here's the Fresh. Nothing? Okay. Well, okay, then to the east is a multi-tenant commercial building along Summit Street, and then across Waverly Drive is the Jewel food store and other outlots along Summit Street. And then on the south side of Summit Street are additional commercial buildings, include a car wash, a restaurant, and some other uses. And then the property is adjacent to a MFR, multifamily residence district, to the north that includes 2-story multifamily buildings along Jefferson Street, which is this street right here, but it doesn't look like you can see that, so I apologize for the technical difficulty. Let's see. Is that better? Here we go. Okay. Okay, so in 2021, so the city approved the Bella Casa Square development on this property, which is a commercial and residential mixed-use development that was going to include 2 4-story mixed-use buildings that would have commercial on the ground floor and residential apartments on the upper levels. These 2 buildings, this is the Summit Street. In the back were 3 5-story multifamily buildings, these right here, and then a 2-story recreation center building sort of in the back of the development. This right here is the Waverly Drive. Overall, the development includes 151 apartments, 22 one-bedrooms, as you can see, 129 2-bedrooms, just over 13,000 square feet of commercial space, and 312 parking spaces total. So the applicant is now requesting an approval to this approved development to eliminate the rec center building. The site plan on the left was the approved site plan in 2021, and then on the right is the currently proposed revised site plan. They are proposing to eliminate the rec center building and provide residential amenities in Building E, which is the building on the far north end, in the basement of that building and on the rooftop, and then minor site changes that would include elimination of some paved areas along the north property line, including the removal of the second access driveway to Waverly Drive. So over here. So this is the approved plan from 2021. The Building E, as I said, the 5-story building is in the back here. This is the 2-story rec center. The floor plan was going to include, would essentially be an enclosed parking garage with 28 parking spaces. The second floor was going to have a 5,100 square foot fitness center and then an outdoor pool on the roof of that parking garage. And then here are the general preliminary elevations of that building. So the applicant is now proposing to provide those residential amenities instead in the separate recreation center building. They were looking to provide that within the basement of Building E. It would still include approximately 5,100 square feet fitness center with full locker rooms for men and women. And then they're also proposing to provide 2 pickleball courts on the rooftop of Building E. The applicant has indicated that the rec center has, the pool within the rec center would only be used 2 to 3 months out of the year. There would be a substantial cost for that rec center overall, especially the pool. There's also some long-term maintenance concerns and liability concerns because there will be no lifeguards on duty for that pool. The proposed amenities within Building E are actually closer to the residents, which would provide maybe a safer and more convenient environment for the tenants. And then the 2 pickleball courts on the rooftop would provide an amenity that could be utilized throughout the year, at least from April through October or November, rather than the pool that would be utilized only 2 to 3 months of the year. The proposed addition to the Building E would not result in any substantial changes to the elevation of the building. The top drawing is the approved elevation for Building E, and then on the bottom you can see the changes that would result in the pickleball courts on the rooftop. They're only proposing to add a 12-foot high screen in between these parapet walls that would essentially provide additional screening for the recreational amenity of those pickleball courts. There are really no other changes to the exterior of the building, only the interior in the basement of the building. The proposal is required to meet the standards for map amendments and plan developments. We provided our overview of the standards in the packet, and staff recommends approval subject to the standard conditions outlined in the packet. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions. The members of the development team are here and can address the commission too.
Thank you, and we did approve a proper notice on this one, right?
Yes, we did. Thank you.
Welcome. All right, I'll start on my right with Commissioner Wildemuth. Questions for staff?
No questions.
Commissioner Jones?
Did I hear you say that they removed the access to Waverly?
That's proposed. There's been no construction on site to date. We've received one application for building permit for the first building, one of the 2 along Summit Street. There's been no construction on site related to this development. Their current proposal is to remove that. As you can see here on the left, there's an existing drive that goes along the north property line that would be removed to reduce the impervious surface on the site.
Just to clear, is in our packet, it said the parking lot with primary access to Summit and 2 secondary driveways to Waverly will remain while the rest of the property remains. So those are the existing?
Correct. There are 2 existing driveways. One would be removed, and maybe I need to clarify that. There are 3 access points to the site right now, 1 to the Summit and 2 to Waverly. Their proposal is to eliminate one of those 2 to Waverly, the northern one. So they would keep the other one that's currently there that sort of lines up with the Jewel extension to the east.
And would that remain even when the property is completely developed?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Commissioner Valdez, I'll let you wrap up questions for staff.
All right, thank you. No questions.
All right, I'm good as well. All right, as promised, we will look to the petitioner team to come on up. If you can, when you start, please state your name, spell it, give us your address, and then
Yes,
tell us
ma'am.
your thoughts.
Okay, my name is Antonio Fanizza, Fanizza. My address 2363 Lechner Lane, Lechner, Des Plaines, Illinois. And I am the architect of record. Okay, during the process of doing the review with the city, we found out that we need substantially more detention on the property than what we were originally proposing or thought we needed. And to get the volume required, created a change in the site plan. So to get the additional water volume, we had to eliminate the proposed parking structure and we had to eliminate also the northerly street that we presently have there. So that's why we are here today, trying to get this relief on this requirement. Besides that, we're good.
Okay, you're joined by someone else here. Do you want to speak or tell us your thoughts?
Well, that basically sums it up. Go ahead, I mean, you're going to say something, but.
My name is Joe Fisher. Do you need my address?
Look to the court reporter for a yes or no on that. No?
No.
Or no?
The other reasons we were doing it were just to have pickleball, if you haven't heard, is booming all over the country. So we thought the pickleball would be used more than the pool. Like Demir was saying, it's only going to be used 2 or 3 months. Pickleball, if the weather's good, you can go out there and do it. And also, personally, as a woman, I just thought the gym was safer in a building where there's other people. Initially, it was in a building with parking, and no one might be in there. If no one's using the pool, a woman might go by herself and be in the gym. I thought it would be safer to have it in another building. That's it.
If you have any questions, maybe we should
We'll ask those now. I appreciate that.
go right ahead.
You're right on cue with us, so we appreciate that. I'll start with Commissioner Jones. Question for this team.
No questions. I'm just looking forward to it. And to your point, yes, pickleball, dog parks, and hopefully Lord's Park Pool will be open by the time you guys get all up and running. Thank you.
Commissioner Valdez.
No questions.
Commissioner Wildermuth.
I just want to confirm that you feel the 12-foot high is adequate. I mean, I've played pickleball before. I just want to make sure that the structure-wise, since it's on a roof and things, making sure that 12 foot is.
Yeah, the sizes are based on the national requirements.
Okay.
And so therefore, we have enough room around it, and the square footage and the size of the outline of what the pickleball will be. And we have enough room to do 2 courts plus additional where people could stand around, sit around, and enjoy the sun. There was some issues about the concern of flying over the parapet. That's why we're proposing some screening. But it's not screening, it's a fence. Actually, one of the drawings shows the kind of screening that we will be proposing. But that's, yeah, the logistics of it, yeah. And in the basement, we will have like a health fitness room where people can go and take the frustration out.
Thank you.
All right, I don't have any questions for you, so appreciate you coming tonight.
Thank you.
All right, moving on then. Anyone in the audience has any comments on this petition? Now's your opportunity. As usual, I either get smiles or people glance away. So we can move past the public comment portion of this petition, then look back to city staff for any final comments.
There's nothing else to add. Staff recommends approval, subject to the conditions outlined in the packet.
Thank you. So at this point in time, then, the chair will entertain a motion for this petition, which is, again, 51-22.
I move to recommend the City Council approve petition 5122, subject to the conditions outlined within the staff report, and to adopt as the findings of the commission the documents and conditions provided within such staff report.
Excellent. Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Commissioner Valdez. Staff, please call the roll.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner Valdez,
Yes.
Commissioner Wildermuth,
Yes.
and Chairman Cox.
Yes.
That motion is approved 4-0.
I'm sure you've been working with staff, but please continue working with them for those future city council dates. We're moving right along on to item G, other business. So anyone on the commission have any items for discussion? Seeing head shakes, no. We can move on to item H, public comment. I understand there may be one or two who would like to give us thoughts tonight, so come on up. We don't get the luxury or enjoyment of having people come up for public comment too often, so we're looking forward to this.
Thank you so much. My name is Cheryl Brimbach-Hayford. I should spell that. Cheryl. Brimbach-Hayford is hyphenated. BRUMBAUGH CAYFORD. I'm a resident of Elgin. I live at 125 Wilcox Avenue.
say your name.
My name is Vivian M. Bailey, Vivienne, Bailey, Bailey. I live at 26 Pioneer Park Place, Elgin.
We are co-coordinators of a local advocacy group called Elgin Area Climate Action Now. We are a subgroup of Fox Valley Citizens for Peace and Justice. We are here in support of a group called Community First Alliance in Carpentersville. We are joining in their opposition to the Logistics Park proposed diesel trucking warehouse center that's being considered at Randall Road and Binney Road. We realize this is not in Elgin, but we understand that this proposal has already been defeated in Dundee. It then proceeded to Carpentersville. If it's defeated in Carpentersville, we believe that Elgin will be the next target. We are joining the Community First Alliance in calling for no more light industrial warehouse trucking and distribution centers in our area, given the pollution and environmental hazards they pose and the threat to continued climate destruction. We understand that Elgin already has over 20 business, office, and industrial sites, and more trucking warehouse facilities are not necessary. We understand at this time that even companies like Amazon are dialing back their building of such facilities because with the end of the pandemic, people are returning to in-person shopping, and the boom in trucking is likely to slow down. We are concerned about air pollution, water pollution, hazardous runoffs into our waterways, Fox River, and wells that are in the area. And we're also concerned about the known effects of diesel fumes, especially in areas of high residential activity, as well as the extra traffic that diesel trucking will bring to our community. We would urge the commission to consider your responsibility to protect the remaining open spaces, green spaces, and land and water in a natural state in our area. We consider this the responsibility of every municipality. And we bring to your attention the federal effort called 30 by 30. This is an effort to protect and preserve 30% of our land and water in a natural state by the year 2030. And we believe every municipality and every local and state and national governmental entity should take this very seriously, given the climate crisis and the environmental crises that are already affecting us.
Our goal is to learn the process by which Logistics Park would approach the city of Elgin so that we might follow it and be aware of every step that's taken by this entity so that we can be available with our advocacy groups to protest and push back against this.
We thank you for your consideration.
Appreciate you coming and telling us your thoughts. Anyone else in the audience who wants to come on up? Public comment? Got one head shake, no? All right, we will close the public comment and look to staff for summary of pending development applications.
Before I get to that, I just want to make an announcement that the city has started the process of a planning study for the North Grove redevelopment area, which, if you have not heard, that happened late last year in 2022. The city hired a consulting firm. I just want to, I apologize. And the firm has created, they're in the process of generating public comment and general input from the community. So I will be sharing a link to a survey. It's essentially a survey for the community, for all members of the community to fill out and provide feedback on their thoughts on this North Grove redevelopment area, which consists of 3 sites essentially surrounding the Gail Borden Public Library. I believe it's a total of 37 acres or so. Let me see. Yeah, 34 acres total, but it includes the area north of Gail Borden Public Library, the properties directly east of the library, and then the former library site that would be south of the current Gail Borden Public Library. That's on the south side of Kimball. So those 3 sites are generally referred to as the North Grove redevelopment area. So the city has hired Lamar Johnson Collaborative to assist in creating a planning study for that area. Once the plan is created, it will be presented to the Planning and Zoning Commission officially and formally. But until then, they're doing their research and conducting various focus groups and different studies. So the first step is this community survey that I'll provide a link to you guys. And if you have any questions, you can reach out, and I can provide as much as I can. If there's no questions about that, I can jump into the development review schedule. Our next meeting is on February 6th, and we will have a couple items at least, probably a text amendment and a new business, conditional use for a new business on Airport Road. Just an update on some of the items that went through the Planning and Zoning Commission lately. The skate park on South McLean Boulevard is expected to be approved at this council's meeting on Wednesday. And then the VFW post at 581 North McLean, the amendment to the Rom Foods convenience store regarding liquor sales, as well as the new tattoo parlor downtown. Those items are scheduled for the consideration by the City Council this Wednesday, January 11th. Aside from that, nothing else to report unless there's specific questions about any projects.
Any questions? Commissioner Jones? Nope. Commissioner Valdez? Oh, sorry.
Not so much a question, just a comment to the folks who are here in the audience. In our packet, towards the end of the packet, every month, there's these items that are being discussed right now and new or pending Planning and Zoning Commission items. And we meet the first Monday of the month, so some of that would be in there.
And I can comment on that. I have not heard about that proposed development, but if I understood correctly, this is at the intersection of Lavandle and Binney Drive. Okay, so that's north of our existing boundary. The City of Elgin's boundary is Higgins Road. That's ultimately our planning boundary, so it's highly unlikely that the City of Elgin would entertain an annexation petition for anything north of Higgins. So just thought I would share that information.
All right, any other questions or comments on this? All right, thank you for that. It's always good to stay up to date and know what's coming down the road. Last item on the agenda is the adjournment. Do we have a motion and a second?
I move to adjourn.
Thank you. Is there a second?
A second.
Staff, please call the roll.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Wildermuth?
Yes.
Commissioner Valdez?
Yes.
And Chairman Cox?
Yes.
Motion is approved, 4-0.
And I believe we had about a half hour, so,
There we go.
all right. Thanks, everyone. See you in February.